Way too creepy, man. Way too creepy.
Oh shit. Oh, no, no way. Whoa! So there's somebody else out here.
This footage belongs to the channel 50/50 Fishing, a space managed by Joseph whose content is usually synonymous with peace. Fishing trips, open waters, and the kind of videos you play when you are looking to disconnect from daily stress. However, this publication completely broke the mold. Joseph decided to step out of his comfort zone to experience a different kind of adventure, an overnight campout deep inside a dense forest. On August 8, 2023, he and a companion drove to the selected spot and began setting up camp, hoping to enjoy an idyllic evening under the stars. But fate had a massive surprise waiting for them.
It makes sense when you consider it pops open like an ice shanty. Set it on the ground. Or it's just like a dang shanty. And you just pop this, pop that. No, that's it.
The tent is up, bro.
Holy crap.
That's nice.
Bro, that's pretty fire. It's supposed to be 7x7. Don't really look like it. Boy, that's kind of slick. Look at that thing, man. It literally took 5 seconds. Yeah, that tent's kind of fire, though. I mean, it literally took, what takes the longest is doing the dang rain fly and stuff. And they really don't take long. Got a tent up in freaking 5 seconds, though.
At first, everything was going smoothly. There were good catches, shared laughter, and the surroundings remained in absolute order. With the arrival of twilight, the atmosphere continued to convey an enviable stillness, the kind that comforts the soul. But in the heart of nature, that kind of calm is usually the calm before the storm. And that morning, the silence would not take long to break.
Alright guys, well, I'm probably gonna head to bed. Probably gonna get up early, hit the lake again. Got my mattress pad, got the sleeping bag. This little tent's alright. This ain't bad at all. Not like crazy roomy, but it's pretty good. Could fit 2 people in here.
Joseph closed his eyes, trusting he would get a restful break, but the forest had much wilder intentions.
Heard something like a weird... I just woke up. I heard something like a weird noise. What the hell is it? There's something else. There's what the yeah, that sounds like a bear, like for real. Oh shit. I think it stopped, man. It like pushed my whole tent in right here. I'm about to go look. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I thought I heard it kind of run away. What the fuck? I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna sleep now.
At some point in the early morning hours, a dry snap tore through the blackness and forced him to wake up in a state of maximum alert. It was an unmistakable sound that left no room for error. A large bear was prowling right outside the tent, so dangerously close that its silhouette was pressing against the thin fabric. Joseph froze completely inside his sleeping bag, listening to how the beast circled his position while its huffs and growls became heavier and more aggressive with every passing second. The distance between his life and the predator's claws was reduced to a fragile layer of nylon. Suddenly, without warning, the tension began to dissipate. The growls faded into the distance and the footsteps sank back into the underbrush. The danger had vanished as quickly as it arrived. Without thinking twice and fearing that the animal would return to reclaim its territory, Joseph stoked a protective campfire, grabbed his essential belongings, and ran to take shelter inside his truck to spend the rest of the night.
Alright guys, well, got no idea where that thing went. I just started a big ass fire. Make sure he don't come back, hopefully. No idea. I think the tent's alright. I haven't seen anything on the tent. Man, I might sleep in the freaking... What was that? I just heard something. I might sleep in the damn truck tonight. Literally might be sleeping in the truck. I don't have any food out or nothing.
That is the true face of the wild world, the total absence of warnings. One moment you are lying down, lulled by the whisper of the wind through the branches and in perfect synchrony with the environment. And the next second, a mass of muscle with the necessary power to crush your shelter stands just inches from your face. Joseph managed to emerge undefeated from that experience, but the terrifying possibility of what could have happened if the bear had decided to attack is a ghost that cannot be easily erased from memory. Behind this channel is Vicky, a content creator whose space is a tribute to the most idyllic and peaceful side of nature. Expeditions to remote corners, crystal clear lakes, and nights of absolute disconnection. It is the kind of video that makes you want to pack a backpack and get lost in the woods for a weekend. On this occasion, she and her companion Amy planned a getaway to a quiet spot by a lake in the Snowdonia region of Wales. The premise was extremely simple: locate a spectacular landscape, camp out, and delight in the sound of silence.
Here's where we're going. So we think we found quite a little quiet lake spot for tonight. It's near Llanogwan and that little busy area. And yeah, so hopefully think I've been quite clever in where we've parked and how we found it. And thinking we're going to be fairly alone tonight. So that's always good in Snowdonia in September. See that little dot up there? That's Amy at the top of the hill. And here's me back at the bottom. Because why? We forgot the water filter. And we realised when we was right at the top. It doesn't look that steep from here, but I promise you, I promise, it's steep. Tiny little Vic.
The journey was not without its challenges. After a long hike, they had to retrace their steps downhill due to frustratingly forgetting their water filter. However, after retrieving the gear, they finally reached the shore of the lake, confirming that the landscape exceeded all their expectations.
So here we are at Lynn, Beep, and don't know what this is. They've covered up the car park, which is here. There's no longer access to the world's most perfect car camping or van spot ever. Meanies. But yeah, here's our location. Very flat ground over there. I mean, we might camp there, or we might find some around there. We shall see.
The girls set up the tent, settled in, and watched as twilight enveloped the horizon. Even a flock of sheep paraded near their position, grazing with total calmness around the water. It was a perfect picture, free of tension and justifying every single kilometer traveled.
4.
We have been greeted with these sheep everywhere.
So the sheep are now making their way around the lake in an orderly fashion.
They fell asleep with peace of mind, and dawn arrived without major mishaps. They enjoyed a morning coffee, packed up camp, and started on the return trail toward where they had parked. It was at that exact moment that the idyllic adventure transformed into a genuine horror movie.
So coming back from the car, from our camp, I have 4 flat tyres and a smashed windscreen and a smashed window, complete with rock inside.
Poor car. Are you still on hold, babe?
Yeah, I've been on the phone for 57 minutes.
For someone who didn't want us to stay here, they've made us stay here a real long time. Strange.
Trying to get rescued from this place. The breakdown people don't cover it. So on the phone with the insurance, and it's looking like it's going to be bye-bye to the car. It's going to have to get scrapped and I'm going to have to make a claim. But it's not going to be repairable, apparently, because of the damage. So it's probably going to be bye-bye car. So the farmers literally killed our car, murdered it. Even yesterday, somebody else was parked just over there, not blocking the gate as well. Another local person walking to the lake. There was no gate access blocked at all. He saw us probably, I guess, yesterday when he came in, heard the tune. I guess really hates wild campers, because it's not like we're in the way of the gate. So what other reason could it be?
No, nothing was stolen from it.
The most baffling part of the scene is that the attackers took absolutely nothing of value, which opens a painful question. Why did they do it? Although the car was parked near a private property gate, at no point was it obstructing the way. It was not a crime of opportunity. Someone took deliberate time and effort to take out their anger on the vehicle, completely destroying it and leaving with impunity. But the most chilling detail was engraved on the asphalt. Right next to the vandalized car, the dry surface on the ground outlined the silhouette of a small car, barely a meter long. This meant that the culprits had left just moments before the girls returned. They were on the verge of running into them face to face in the middle of nowhere. An extremely uncomfortable thought to process. Fortunately, Vicky and Amy were unharmed. Whatever burst of rage drove someone to destroy that property in the dark of night, the attack was limited to metal, and at the end of the day, knowing they made it back safe is the only thing that truly matters. This video comes from Moxley's Paranormal World, a British YouTube channel focused on documenting solo overnights inside the most secluded forests of the United Kingdom, chasing inexplicable phenomena and paranormal activity. It is April 29th, 2026, and from the very first second, the vibe of the video is very different from the previous ones. The content creator is no stranger to these lands. The forest carries a heavy personal history for him, having experienced alleged encounters on past visits with hidden entities or entities of alien origin that defied all logic. Therefore, his entry this time is extremely cautious. Before deploying his tent, he takes the time to inspect the terrain, evaluate the stability of the upper branches, and activate a perimeter alarm cord. Tonight, he does not plan to take the slightest risk.
Because it definitely looks big enough. Yeah, it's going to be big enough here. And even if it's not, we'll make it big enough. I keep looking around because I don't feel like I'm the only person here, and I possibly ain't the only person here. Because what time are we at? 8 o'clock in the evening. It's a gorgeous day as well. This ground's really soft. Isn't it great just listening to the wildlife as you're setting up? It's one of the main reasons why I actually love coming out doing these ones. Yeah, okay, you've got the stories of the paranormal cryptids.
Taking advantage of the last gleams of sunlight, he conducts a reconnaissance of the surroundings and stumbles upon strange formations in the foliage. Heavy logs and branches intertwined in a way so geometric and deliberate that it rules out any accident of nature, with no logical reason for their presence. While he continues with the preparations, the environment suddenly falls into a deathly silence. Right at that moment, an anomalous flash catches his attention. A subtle reflection blinks and shifts positions between the cracks of the trees. The YouTuber tracks the exact spot with his lens over and over again. That anomaly is not trying to attack him, but it is not leaving either. It simply repositions itself with surgical precision, staying right at the edge of the perceptible, watching. And it is precisely that cold patience, more than any physical aggression, that triggers paranoia.
It was like a thud. Just here. Is there someone else here with me? If there is, come forward, come and speak to me. Or show yourself. Show yourself on the camera. Maybe come and show me what you look like. Don't know who I'm speaking to. Let's go over this side. Alright, I've just turned the spirit talker back on. Let's go for a walk.
3. Forgive my sins.
3. Forgive my sins. Well, what did you...
1840.
1840. 1840s. Leg. There's something...
My name is Raymond.
Raymond? Is that what we just got in the tent as well? Raymond?
I'm always watching.
You always watching, are you?
Kelsey.
What are you always watching? Are you watching people who come out here doing the photography? The strangest thing is, this place is supposedly
I'm sorry.
full of wildlife, like deers and all sorts.
May I touch you?
No, you cannot touch me.
I've been trapped here.
You've been trapped here. And the thing is, earlier on, we've seen deer tracks.
The situation becomes even more baffling when the flashes stop being an isolated event. They now begin to manifest from multiple coordinates simultaneously deep within the vegetation. There is no longer a single target to watch. The density of the forest distorts perspective, making it impossible to calculate how far away those light sources actually are. Despite the visual chaos, the coordinated stalking persists in front of him and at his sides, as if that presence were matching the explorer's pace step for step, perfectly measuring the meters needed to avoid being captured in detail.
Spirit Talker, that was absolutely insane. Some interesting stuff coming through on that. The EVP I'm not 100% sure about, but that weird light, or whatever it was in the sky during the night, I don't even know if the cameras picked it up, but that was very odd, especially with the sightings of UFOs and stuff. I'm not saying it was a UFO, and I didn't say it was a UFO then either. It could have been a plane, and it's just the angling, looking up at it. But anyway, I need to get myself a quick cup of coffee, pack this tent away.
Minutes later, the tension explodes when one of the perimeter motion sensors trips, breaking the silence. The YouTuber immediately goes out to inspect the area with flashlight in hand. The result is baffling. No fresh footprints, no broken branches, no silhouettes in sight. Only the echo of the alarm and an even denser emptiness afterward. Shortly after, a series of muffled and inexplicable noises manifest again right on the monitored security line, forcing him to conduct a new blind round. Once again, his eyes fail to register anything tangible. The alarms reacted to a real physical presence that breached the perimeter, but somehow, it managed to enter and leave without leaving the slightest material trace. That is the defining factor of the entire evening's atmosphere. There is no violent or explicit climax, but rather a slow, psychological, and relentless accumulation of tension. Flashes playing hide and seek, movements mimicking his steps, and noises dying right at the edge of the camp without fully breaking in. Nothing reveals itself clearly, nothing is confirmed before the lens, but nothing leaves either. That force remains latent on the periphery, right where the light from the flashlights is swallowed by the blackness. An energy dense enough to make your skin crawl, but impossible to record on video. When dawn arrives, the explorer packs up his camp with only one absolute certainty. Solitude was just an illusion the entire night. This is CJ Faison, a content creator and explorer with an alarming tendency to venture into places that common sense dictates avoiding. Abandoned mines, ghost towns, and spots with sinister reputations. However, in October 2024, his goal was not to hunt ghosts. He was experiencing his first solo camping journey aboard his van. Completely alone, with no one to watch his back, he chose the Pine Barrens of New Jersey as his destination. A colossal and untamable sea of trees spanning over 1 million acres shrouded in disturbing myths. Locals claim the area is cursed by the legendary Jersey Devil, though others fear a more real danger, the strangers who hide out there. Furthermore, due to strict state laws, CJ could not carry weapons. He was unprotected.
I just pulled up that's weird. Sounds very hollow.
His arrival occurs just after sunset, parking deep within a sandy trail. The moment he steps down from the vehicle, he notices something disturbing. The ground beneath his boots produces a hollow echo, grimly suggesting that something could be buried right beneath the surface. Despite the strange finding, he decides to ignore it and continue. The evening kicks off with apparent normalcy. He sets up his equipment, interacts with his camera, and even jokes around. But in the Pine Barrens, tranquility is a luxury that lasts very little.
I feel very nervous because this, like, completely solo. You're in the middle of the woods. I'm gonna get my stuff. I'm gonna go on a little bike ride here, and we're gonna go explore around together.
After taking a brief bike ride to explore the surroundings, he returns to camp and notices that the atmosphere has changed drastically. 2 heavy logs that he himself had placed in a vertical position before leaving were now lying completely flat on the ground. Both at the same time. No gusts of wind or animals in the vicinity to explain the movement. Trying to keep calm, CJ looks for a logic that doesn't exist, decides to take shelter in the van by throwing the locks, and leaves the cameras rolling. It was at that moment that strange snaps began to echo right outside.
What the f*** is that? What the? What is that? Let's try to zoom in on my camera. Come the fuck, come on. That's somebody's flashlight. Hello? I don't even know. I was a ding or something. Somebody's out here. Obviously. A damn flashlight doesn't fall clean out of the sky.
Suddenly, a faint red bulb blinks in the brush, right at the edge of his camp. As he approaches cautiously to inspect, he discovers someone else's flashlight lying on the ground, whose power switch remained firmly in the off position. The device had turned on by itself. As he runs terrified back to the van, a heavy hostility takes over the environment. By this point, the certainty of having someone stalking in the darkness is undeniable.
Alright, come the who's out here? Who's out here? I'm 9,000% sure that light was not on. 9,000%.
To make matters worse, a second unknown light source turns on out of nowhere in the gloom. CJ stumbles back, trying not to lose his mind, while the shadows around him seem to come alive. At that moment, technology begins to fail. His camera batteries drain completely in seconds, and overheating alerts pop up in the middle of the night cold. The climax of the horror arrives with a massive, dull impact that echoes from the vicinity of the river.
No way. Hello? Listen, dude. Listen. I'm 9,000% sure that boom or bang came from that right there. 100% came from that right there.
No one tried to break in the van that I know of, at least. I think when I fell asleep, I was just like, ow. I enjoy the van camping thing. I felt way safer than when I'm like camping in a tent, that's for sure.
That massive crash stops him dead in his tracks. CJ shouts into the blackness looking for answers, but only receives a deathly silence. Armed with courage, he approaches a public restroom structure to inspect the area, but the place seems deserted. With no intention of continuing to push his luck, CJ definitely entrenches himself in the van. There will be no more outings tonight. The only thing accompanying him is the subtle blinking of his Starlink antenna and the oppressive sensation that a pair of eyes is staring fixedly at him from the tree line. Dawn breaks with unshakable calm. The bike is still in its place and the vehicle shows no damage. Visually, the nightmare seems to have ended, but the internal feeling is very different. The Pine Barrens have plunged back into mutism, that kind of uncomfortable silence that does not convey peace, because whatever was lurking in the shadows never needed to reveal its face to make it clear who runs those woods. This segment belongs to the channel Wild Bliss Bunny, a YouTube space focused on stealth camping in the most unusual settings imaginable. Supermarket parking lots, the back of convenience stores, or abandoned warehouses. If a place seems impossible to spend the night, chances are she has already slept there. Her content is usually upbeat and entertaining, showing how she finds creative spots and manages to get comfortable. However, sometimes the urban environment has much darker plans. On this occasion, Bunny chose a different setting, a circle of redwoods located right in the heart of a residential area. Before being able to settle in, she noticed a couple talking at a nearby picnic table, so she had to wait in the shadows for them to leave before she could act.
All right, guys, we got lucky. That was indeed them. They left. Here's the picnic table, and as you can see, we are now in this expansive ring of redwood trees that is in the middle of this urban environment where cars can walk by, people can walk by. So our mission now is going to be to find a little tucked away spot that we can set up and camp for the night. Oh my gosh.
I cannot even believe this, you guys. I can't even make this up. There is a bunny right here. Are you kidding me? I guess this is where we're gonna set up camp because, like, come on.
While preparing the ground, she stumbled upon a baffling detail, a small toy rabbit figure buried in the mud. Considering her channel is called Wild Bliss Bunny, the probability of such a find was almost impossible to calculate. Interpreting it as a good luck charm, she began setting up her camp, but fortune turned its back on her immediately. Her camera tripod collapsed, completely destroying her microphone receiver. It wasn't exactly the best omen, but she decided not to give up. After dealing with the mishap, she managed to pitch a compact, individual tent, equipped with some practical awnings that gave her some breathing room. Finally, just as she was arranging the blankets and getting ready to rest, the night took a radical and terrifying turn.
Hey guys, I gotta abandon camp. I'm here in my tent. I was about to get my bedding situated, but some dude, so there was this guy on the bike and he kept like doing circles around, and then he sat at the bench that I showed you earlier, the table, and then he like went and sat by a tree, and I was like, what is going on? And then I thought he left, and then he came and he said knock knock after I like set up my tent and everything, and I'm like, why are you knock knocking? You know, why are you circling around on your bike and like making it like you left? And then after I'm like here and get my stuff all situated and set up, come up and say knock knock in the dark. Like he doesn't even have a light or anything, so way too sketchy, and I'm gonna have to abandon camp tonight because that is not the business right there. So darn, too bad. This was a cool spot, but not anymore.
You have to analyze the scene coldly. You are a woman camping completely alone in the dark, and suddenly, a stranger who had already been lurking around the area on his bike to watch you, later pretending to leave, walks straight toward your tent in the middle of the gloom and drops a cynical, knock knock. That is not a situation where you stay to find out what intentions are behind it. Her survival instinct ordered her to abort the mission, and she didn't hesitate to listen. She packed her gear at lightning speed and fled that place without looking back.
That suitcase wasn't here before. Wonder if it's that guy's. Where is that guy? Anyways, we're getting out of here. Way too creepy, man. Way too creepy.
There is a possibility that the guy was harmless. Perhaps he was just someone socially inept, with a terrible sense of timing and zero empathy regarding how his disturbing behavior was perceived. It's an option. But when you are unprotected and feel that something is wrong, you are under no obligation to give anyone the benefit of the doubt. That isn't paranoia, it's pure common sense. This encounter is the perfect reminder that the most unsettling situations don't only happen deep within cursed forests or inside forgotten ruins. Sometimes they manifest in plain sight of streetlights, under the cover of some redwoods right in the middle of civilization. What do you think? Do you believe it was just an awkward guy at the worst possible moment, or do you think she did exactly the right thing by escaping from there? Let me know down in the comments. And if you have ever lived through a similar experience where a camping night went wrong, I would love to read your story. Are you enjoying the video? If so, take advantage of this pause to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you can stay up to date with upcoming updates. Don't unglue yourself from the screen, because the next case won't let you sleep. On August 20th, 2024, what was supposed to be a relaxing day outdoors for TJ, the creator of the channel Kayakusa, and his cousin Dylan, turned into a true meteorological nightmare. While they were relaxing on the shores of Lake Guntersville, The peaceful summer afternoon was swallowed by an imposing wall of dark clouds that buried the horizon in a matter of minutes, announcing that something terrible was about to happen.
Holy cow, y'all. So, I don't know how much I just filmed out in the water. Me and Dylan were both just waiting and fishing. And look what just rolled up on us. Look at this. It is pouring. And that's only a few hundred yards away. It is white capping out here on the water. Look at this. This just came up out of nowhere. I don't know how bad that looks on camera, but it's pretty bad.
The change in the weather was devastating and sudden. The initial downpour almost immediately gave way to hurricane-force gusts powerful enough to uproot any structure. In the blink of an eye, the situation stopped being a simple setback and transformed into a desperate battle for survival.
We've had something pop up on us right here, and it is bad, y'all. I don't know if you can tell, but we're inside of this gazebo, holding it down, and it's picking me up. Holy shit. This is nuts. Bro, I hope we ain't got no tornado popped up on us. Oh, shoot. Oh my God.
TJ y su primo Dylan buscaron refugio bajo una glorieta, pero la furia de la tormenta era abrumadora. El viento se hizo tan fuerte que amenazaba con levantar la glorieta, obligándolos a sujetarla con todas sus fuerzas. La situación se volvió rápidamente alarmante.
God, dude. We might need to get under the vehicle.
Dude, I've never been in something like this.
This is horrible, man. I haven't either. We probably need to be under our truck.
There ain't no doubt.
If this tree comes down, it's gonna hit us. Oh my God. I think we're in a tornado, y'all. Hey, that tree just went down. That tree just went down beside us.
Trapped and without the slightest opportunity to evacuate the area in time, the young men had no choice but to seek shelter under a nearby metal structure. Clinging to the iron beams with all their strength to avoid being carried away by the brutal wind pressure, their desperate screams, immortalized by the camera's microphone, reflect the absolute panic of finding themselves completely helpless. At the climax of the chaos, a deafening crash pierced the environment. A gigantic tree had just collapsed just meters from their position. They weren't dealing with just any storm. Without realizing it in time, they had become trapped exactly in the trajectory of a devastating tornado.
Guys, I think we are in the middle of a tornado. My kayak is beached.
En un momento aterrador, TJ vio como un árbol caía a pocos metros de distancia. Cuando la tormenta se calmó, hicieron un escalofriante descubrimiento sobre lo cerca que habían estado de la tragedia.
This is where we were going to park. We changed our mind the last second and parked down there. We wanted to park right behind the bathroom, and we decided to go a little bit further. This was going to be our camping spot, right where this tree's laying. I want y'all to see what just came down. Look, that's beside Dylan. This is where we were going to camp.
When the fury of the wind finally subsided, the panorama around them left them completely frozen. The colossal smashed trunk lay crushing with millimeter precision the exact spot where TJ had planned to pitch his tent moments before. That last-minute change of plans, dictated purely by conservation instinct, was the thin line that separated an extreme anecdote from a fatal outcome. Both managed to survive to tell the tale, taking away an indelible lesson about the untamable and destructive power of the planet. They are Michael and Ashley, the minds behind Stealth Camp Sweethearts, a YouTube channel focused on documenting their stealth camping adventures as a couple. However, shortly after starting their project, they experienced a terrifying event that forever changed the way they view outdoor safety. What was planned as a romantic evening under the stellar mantle ended up turning into a genuine suspense movie.
I'm Ashley, and it is Ashley's birthday today, and we are just regular camping. Just want to take it easy for her birthday, and
we're here at the Peaceful Hills Retreat. We got a own tiny little waterfall. Got a little bit of a fall.
and this will be our campsite for the night. So maybe it'll be a good night.
We're using a fire starter.
I have never used a fire starter.
Yeah, we've never used one. We have fire!
Look what I've created!
With a lighter and a fire starter.
While both were chatting quietly and relaxing in front of the lens, the silence of the early morning was shattered into 1,000 pieces by a phenomenon that defied any logical explanation.
What?
What?
I thought I heard something.
I mean, I heard something fall. It sounded like a stick or something fell. But you scared me.
I mean, I just heard something, so I just turned to look.
Do they have bears up here? I mean, I know like Gatlinburg does, but this is the opposite end of Tennessee. I don't know. You scared me so bad.
I was just turning around real quick.
I was like, who's there?
Who there? Who there?
What's that?
I have no freaking idea.
It's a UFO.
Oh.
Should have brought my...
A constant and disturbing murmur began to filter through the density of the underbrush, putting them on maximum alert immediately. Although at first they tried to rationalize the situation, thinking they were the typical snaps and crackles of the local wildlife, the atmosphere became extremely heavy and suffocating as the noises grew sharper, closer, and more disturbing.
Weird.
I don't know.
Can you imagine how much wood we would have to find? Because you got to think, that was a little bit of wood. I mean, if I had something...
Did not like that. What? What is that?
Just as happened to the couple, it is inevitable to get chills when playing these audio frequencies. At some moments, the sound resembles the call of a wild creature, but if you sharpen your hearing, the tone chillingly resembles the heartbreaking cry of a woman. The climax of the horror arrives when a dry bang, identical to that of a gunshot, echoes through the air, leaving a blood-curdling question hanging. What kind of danger did Michael and Ashley stumble upon in the vastness of the forest? Was it a person in a desperate situation, or will there be some scientific and natural explanation that we still haven't managed to decipher? Tell me your theory down in the comments. I am very interested to know what you think about this disturbing recording. We accompany Diana, the creative mind behind the channel Wanderlust Diana, an explorer who travels the highways spending the night aboard her all-terrain vehicle. During one of her many journeys through the imposing landscapes of Idaho, she located a secluded spot that seemed like the perfect shelter to go unnoticed and rest. However, The deep serenity of the environment hid a silent threat that would very soon transform her evening into a true nightmare of harassment and surveillance.
I could really see myself living up here. Yeah. So now we're staying on track, because if we go off track over there, those are, private, that's a private residency over there. It's all huge mansions over there. Man, probably expensive to live in a park like this.
What initially shaped up to be the ideal corner to settle in revealed its most disturbing face in a matter of minutes. The isolation of the place, far from transmitting peace to her, turned into a trap of uncertainty where danger lurked from the shadows.
Guys, someone is outside, I swear. Who is out there? Get away from my car, please. God, I'm leaving. Get away from my car right now. I'm gonna leave.
Acting with exemplary prudence and listening to her instinct, Diana made the firm decision to abort the mission and leave the site immediately. In scenarios of extreme solitude, it is impossible to decipher the true intentions of a stranger, and a single second of doubt can cost dearly. That morning, seeking the shelter of civilization, she drove to the illuminated parking lot of a Walmart in order to sleep safely. However, when the sun rose, she discovered a telling detail on the bodywork of her truck.
Guys, I'm gonna have let me check one more time. I'm double checking. I'm actually nervous. I'm double checking. See, it's gone. It really is gone. Look at this. Nothing there. No, my car doesn't have class. It looks weird. My car looks weird without the amulet. This is just madness. Like, I'm not sure what it was. If it was a person or an animal. Took my amulet. It really is missing. It's gone. Look at this. Nothing.
The evidence was overwhelming. Someone had approached close enough to her in the middle of the blackness to rip off and steal an emblem from her vehicle. Despite having been the victim of the theft, the predominant feeling was not rage, but deep relief. Diana understood that, although she had lost a material accessory, her physical integrity remained intact because she reacted in time. An extremely valuable lesson for anyone traveling solo. In the wild world, no object is worth more than one's own life. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. It really helps the channel, and there is much more to come. Alright, take care and maybe don't venture too deep into the woods alone. See you in the next video.